Hey guys, in this section we're going to talk about and set up shipping. Shipping is a very important aspect of any e-commerce site, unless of course you're selling downloadable products only. But if you're actually shipping products out, then it's very important, and you should figure out which service or carrier you're going to use as far as FedEx or UPS or US Mail, and really get all their rates, and really look into it. But we're just going to set up a general carrier or maybe a couple carriers in shipping zones. So the first thing I want to do is go to localization and go to countries. And you can see that all the countries aside from the United States are disabled. And that's because we chose the United States when we installed PrestaShop, and the rest of the world is disabled by default. So what we want to do is ship within North America and within Europe and the UK. So I'm going to go to the United Kingdom and I'm going to enable that as well. Now, next thing we have to do is set up a carrier. So if we want to go to shipping carriers, and by default you get these two carriers. One is named after your website, which is Lots of Gadgets, and this is the in-store carrier. This is the handling charge that you would want to charge if someone came into the store, and we don't have a physical store, so we don't want that. By default it's the default carrier, so we can't disable it yet. The next one that they give us is My Carrier, which is just a sample. It says delivery next day. It's just a sample carrier. I'm not going to use that either. What I'm going to do is create a new one. So I want to go to Add New. And as far as company, you could put UPS, FedEx, 2-day, or whatever you want. I'm just going to put Standard. Alright, and we could choose a logo if we had one. Transit time, I'm going to put 5 to 7 days. And you can put anything you want here. It's just the text that the customer sees. This, the speed grade is what does matter. You want to put a number 0 to 9, and depending on the fastest shipping you would have towards the 9, the slowest is at the 0. I'm just going to put a 5. If we wanted to create, say, a 2 to 3 day shipping, then we would choose a number higher than 5 for that, because that would be faster than the standard. Alright, so the URL. The URL is very important if you want to give your customers tracking. And each service, whether it's FedEx, UPS, USPS, they all have a certain URL structure for tracking. And you need to find that out. If you're using whatever you're using, you need to find the tracking URL. And I actually have a link. One second. In each chapter you have some program files, and in this one, chapter 3, shipping, we have this URL. It's to verysimple.com, and it's a really good page that has all the URLs mapped out. So we have for UPS, FedEx, USPS, DHL. These are all the URL structures for tracking. Just for the sake of the tutorial, let's just choose UPS. So I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to place it here. But if you look underneath, it says to type an @ symbol where the tracking number should appear. So we're going to get rid of this string of X's and just put the @ sign there, and that'll be the placeholder for the tracking number. Alright, so next is zones. You want to select which zones this carrier should work with. We're going to choose North America and Europe. Group access, you could restrict this carrier to a certain group. whether it's guest, visitor, customer, or a custom group that you created. Apply shipping costs, yes. Tax, we're going to add in tax. I'm in Massachusetts, so I'm going to choose the Massachusetts rate of 6.25. Shipping and handling. Billing, we can either do by total price or total weight. I'm going to do by total weight, which is what most systems do. Out of range behavior. What this means is if, say we have a carrier or a weight range of 0 to 200 pounds. This is what you want to do if, say, the customer ordered something that was 202 pounds, which is over the 200 pound. You can either disable the carrier totally, or you can just apply the cost of the highest defined range, which in that case would be 200. So we're going to keep that selected. And you can actually choose height and width restrictions as well. So if something was greater than, if we have 100 here and something's greater than 100, this carrier wouldn't be used. But we're just going to keep that blank. So everything looks good, so I'm going to save. So now we have our carrier, our standard carrier, and I want to make that the default. Click save. And actually we have sort by price. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we have our standard carrier. I'm actually going to disable the other two. And you just do that by clicking on the check mark. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we have to define some weight ranges. And for this particular site, what I want to do is I want to do a certain price for anything that weighs from 0 to 5 pounds, and then from 6 to 100 pounds. Alright, so I'm going to add those two ranges. And you want to keep the standard carrier selected, and we're going to do from, let's say, 0.1 to 5 pounds. And then add new. We want to do 6 to 100 pounds. And we'll just say that 100 pounds is the maximum as far as the products we carry. So we have these two ranges. Now we need to go to shipping. And here's where you want to put your handling charges. This could be what you pay your employees or just manual labor costs. I'm just going to keep it at the default of $2. You can also define free shipping if you want, depending on if you're using pound, weight, or price. We're going to keep it at weight. And here is where you'll define the amount for each weight range. So we have 0.1 to 5 pounds. I'm going to add a $10 shipping on that. And 6 pounds to 100 pounds, I'm going to add a $25 shipping. And you can even specify which country has which rate. And I guess I will do that. I guess Europe can have a $12 shipping, and for 0 to 5, and then have a we'll say a $28 price for 6 to 100 pounds. So that looks good. So let's save that. It's been saved. So that looks good. Now what I want to do is actually test it out. So we want to go to our front end, and let me clear out the cart. Alright, so our cart's empty. Now let's say, one thing that I do want to point out is that in our catalog products, let's say the iPod Shuffle, you want to specify the weight under shipping. And we don't have any weight set for this, so I'm actually going to go back and change that range, that 0.1 to 5. I'm going to change it to 0.0, just in case products don't have a weight. But for this, let's just say this is 0.5 for the iPod Shuffle. $0.5. And you can add additional shipping for single products as well. So let's just go back to the weight range, and I want to change this to 0. Alright, so let's go back to the front end, refresh, and iPod Shuffle. Let's add that. It's 6605. I'm going to add it to my cart. And if I go up, you'll see 6605, and then shipping is $12 because the weight is in between 0 and 5. So that's really it for shipping. Very easy. I'm ready to check out. As long as my payment methods and everything is set up, it should be all set. So that's how you handle shipping in PrestaShop.